The Dark Mimas is a free EA I recently started trading and recorded a video about. It's been trading for about a month and it hasn't lost a single trade. So today, I'm going to place it onto a 15K account from iFunds because I believe it will work quite well there. Stay tuned because I will show you the settings I'll be using and something that's very interesting about my results so far. And of course, I'll share my save file with you. Let's go. So let's start by taking a look at the live account where I have it running, and you can see that it is a small account. It's just a $200 account. And what we can see, as I mentioned in the intro, is that not a single trade has been lost. So every trade is a winning trade so far. Now these are small trades and these are small wins, and you'll see that at the end of trading this for just under a month, you can see our first trade was on the 18th, today's the 15th. We have a profit of $2.45. Now I know that that's not a lot of money, right? But the point is that this is over 1%, it's about 1.2%. And what is really interesting, apart from the fact that, as you can see, it hasn't lost the trade, is that it hasn't opened a single recovery trade. Now, let me show you the settings very quickly. In this account, I'm trading this with default settings, and it is trading on the German 30 or the DAX, which is not strictly speaking the asset that it was designed for. And if you missed the video where I placed it onto this account, I'll link to it down below in the description. But what we can see is that we actually do have the grid enabled. You can see there the grid is enabled and it is set to lot sum, but it hasn't opened a single recovery trade. The other thing that's quite interesting there is that although this is a grid robot, if you look at the duration of most of the trades, right? Let's just look at this one here. You can see that it opened at 9 a.m. and it closed about 10 seconds later. Okay, in and out quickly. Let's take a look at some other random trades. This one here opened at 6 a.m. and 42 seconds and it closed at 6:03, so about 3 minutes. And if you look at all of the rest of the trades, some of them were open for about an hour, but the vast majority were open for between a few seconds and a few minutes. So although this is a grid EA, it's actually been trading like a scalper. So I found that quite interesting. Now, of course, there's no guarantee that it'll continue to trade like this. It is a grid EA, but as you can see, if we look at the chart, let's just pause the scrolling. You can see that entry and exit. Let's find a few more here. There's another one, entry and exit, almost instant. Find a few more here. There we go, another one, entry and exit. So you can see that this really does trade very quickly in and out at this stage. Now, let's take a quick look at the vendor's website, and it is one of the Dark EAs, and I will link to this down below in the description. So there are a number of free EAs, and we've tested and traded most of them, but in particular, we are looking at the Dark Mimas. Now, once you register on the website, you can go into the free EAs, and you'll see that once you have added it to your cart, it's done for free. You'll go to your services, can select the EA, and as you can see, I'm trading pretty much all of them, but let's just go down to the Dark Mimas. What you can see here is that once you have it, you can put this onto 10 accounts, and the kind of accounts are your choice. It can be demo, it can be live, it can be a combination of the two. So each one of these licenses is actually for an account. So you can actually be trading multiple charts on the same account with this EA, and you would only then use one license, but you do have 10 in total, and because it's a free EA, you can always get more if you want to. Now, if you are new to the channel, I often review free and paid EAs, and I share my settings, like I will in this video. If you want these EAs and the set files I use, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification icon so you never miss an upload or a free EA. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, we are going to be trading this on iFunds. Now, if you haven't heard of iFunds before, iFunds is an instant funding platform. Now, what does that mean? Well, what it means is that you can buy a funded account. And how it works essentially is that you've got different levels of accounts. So you've got the smallest, which is the 2,500, which is called the intern. You've got the starter, you've got the ambitious, and that's in the beginner level. If you go to advanced, you've got 25K, 50K, and 85K. And in the guru, you can get really big accounts. So you've got 150K, 250K, and 500K. Now, obviously, each of these has got a different cost, but let's look at the beginner for now, right? So let's say that you want to go for the 10K. It will cost you $700, although I will leave some coupons for you down in the description. And for $700, you will get a 10K account. So you have 10K to trade with. You can also select the risk. So based on the strategy or the EA that you're going to be trading, you can select your profit split, right? So if you want your drawdown to be set to a maximum of 10%, then you'll get a 50% profit split. But let's say that you wanted to get an 80% profit split, okay? You could do that, you just set it there, but what it means is that on your max drawdown, you have a max drawdown of 6%. Let's say that you have an EA or a strategy that you're pretty confident you can keep below 8%. You can see then that the profit split changes as well, and in that case, you will get 60%. So it's customizable, which is really useful and not something that I've seen offered anywhere else. Now, the nice thing with iFunds as well, when you compare it to, let's say, a prop firm, is that there are no real rules, right? The only thing thing you need to do is stay within this drawdown that you have selected when you bought the account. Algo trading is allowed, so you can use any EA you want to, apart from arbitrage and HFT, high frequency trading bots. There is no daily drawdown, so that drawdown that you saw there is a static drawdown that is for the entirety of your trading period. There's no trading day limits, right? So you can take as long as you want or short as you want to get to your targets. No consistency rules, there's no IP restrictions. Something that happened to us recently in one of the prop firms is that because we all trade from the same VPS, it was registering as at the same IP address, and it terminated the accounts, right? And then, as we saw earlier, it's also got flexible profit splits. So this is a really good option. And based on the results that I showed you in my live account, I feel pretty confident placing this EA onto an iFunds account. Now, because the iFunds account that we are going to go for is a 15K account, let me show you the backtesting results that I've got on this one. Okay, so we're going to hit test to go to the backtester. And what we can see is what I'm going to do is I'm going to load the set file. I think it's already probably all inserted, but let me just load the set file that I have created. And this is the set file that I will share with you. I think I did mention it, but in the live account, I'm using default settings. So if you want to try it on a small live account, that's what I'm doing there. You don't need to change any of the settings. Just get the set file loaded. All right, it's this one here. And what you can see is that we've got money management set to true and is set to a risk percent of 8, which is a bit high, but when you see the backtest results, you'll understand why I did that. A few other things that I've changed here, mostly on the grid. Let's go down to the grid. So we are going to enable the grid. All right. But in this case, whereas with the other one, we had it set to lot sum, here we are going to set it to fixed. And I've backtested and I've tried a number of different settings, and this is the one that gave me the best results in terms of profit versus my max recorded drawdown. Okay, coefficient grid management has been set to 3. The minimum distance has been set to 125, and the minimum distance multiplier is 3. I think pretty much everything else is pretty much the same. There might be one or two other small changes that are made, but let's just run the backtest very quickly. So if we go to the settings, see that we have got it set to the German 40, which is the DAX. It's called the German 30, German 40, DAX, D30, D40. So it's got a number of names. Got it set to the H1. I'm going to backtest from the beginning of last year. Okay, delay of 20 milliseconds. My modeling is going to be every tick. Now, I have done this backtest on every tick and every tick based on real ticks. The results are virtually identical. The reason I'm going to select every tick is because the historical data quality is a bit high here. You'll see that when we do it. Leverage is 1 to 100, which is the leverage we are training with, and we're not going to optimize it. So let's hit start. Okay, we'll take a look at the graph together. And what you can see is that it is running pretty quickly. Now there are a few drawdowns here that you can see. They are pretty short and they are very small. This was the biggest one here, and this one here was about 8%. Now, let me show that to you. Let's look at the backtest results, and what you can see is that the largest equity drawdown was just under 8%, which is perfectly acceptable because on the iFunds account, I'm going to set my max drawdown to 10%. So this falls within that, so I'm quite happy with that. If you look at my total net profit, you'll see that I have a little over 20%. It's not huge. I'm aiming for between 1 and 2% a month, which is I'm very happy with, especially with this drawdown here. Looking at some of the other stats, you can see that we've got a win rate of about just 82.5 on the short trades. We've got a little higher on the long trades, about 87%. And then you can run this backtest yourself, as I said. And if you look down, you can see all of the various statistics. So this is looking pretty good. So I am quite happy with this. So what we're going to do next is we're going to place it onto our iFunds account. Okay, that's on a different VPS. Let's just get that VPS. What you can see is that I have already installed the platform. Algo trading is enabled. Please remember that, it's very important. Something else that you need to keep in mind when you are trading with the dark EAs and some of the other EAs is that you just need to go to options. On the expert advisors tab, just select allow algorithmic trading and allow DLL imports. Okay, so what we're going to do next is just make sure that this is on H1, which it is. I am going to drag the EA onto the chart. Okay, we're going to click on load. Let's just select our set file that I showed you. Here it is here. Click on open, click on OK. And there we go. It is on and it is trading. Okay, so this EA is now live and trading, and I'll leave a link so that you can keep track of the results in real time. I'll also leave links to the EA, my set file, and iFunds so that you can do exactly what I did. In case you missed it, our brand new first of its kind algo trading platform is live. Watch the video where Petko and Marin run through the features and benefits of this groundbreaking online platform right here. As always, thanks for watching, trade safe, and I'll see you soon.